Okay, so basically, I leveled my DK up and got him out of the starting area off stream, and now it works perfectly fine. So it's currently 58, which means I'm gonna be leveling my troll and my paladin to about 59 before I switch back to my DK. And even then, I don't know where I'm gonna level, because that's kind of the void you're left with as a DK. You come out and you're like, well, now where the fuck do I go? You can go. That's kind of why they used to make you have to have a level 55 character before you could do that. So you kind of do the lay of the land, because if you come out with any sort of direction, you're just like, where the hell do I go? So now I have to think. I don't know if I want to do Dire Maul tonight. I really don't. I'll do it tomorrow. I think I said that, actually, that I wasn't going to do Dire Maul. I was going to do these other quests that I have. I vaguely remember saying something along those lines. Um, I could do a final blow. Yeah, I'm gonna go do that. I should be able to by myself.
Blood and thunder.
I've kind of gotten to the point in this as well to where I think I'm just going to do like one quest at a time. Maybe. Let me look up something real quick. Shit. Yeah, that's a lot. Oh, I was referring to the amount of XP I need to hit 60 from 59. That's a lot. Um, let's see. I should be able to. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just do this one quest, and then I might switch to Red Dead, or I might get off entirely. Oh, I'm surprised those aren't gray. Yeah, it's really. I should have probably bought some drink before I came down here. Is this even the right place? No, I don't think it is. Shit, got turned around. Starting to wonder if this is Shadow Hold over here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. No? Yes, right here. I don't want your damn steak. I should one-shot this warlock. Oh, except it didn't crit. Well, fuck it. There's just a level 60 gnome down here. Get about 500 members, and I'm gonna turn invites off entirely. I'm pretty sure I have enough level 60s on here that I could do a 40 man if I had to. I don't know what kind of comp that would be, but I could definitely do it. Well, actually, you know what? Let me count them real quick. 1, 2, 3, including myself at the time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Uh-oh. Oh, here's some more. Never mind. Yeah, I have plenty. You gotta be shitting me. Like, how much damage was that doing to me? Oh, it doesn't really have to do a whole lot, does it? I only have 18 fucking 100 HP. Seriously though, how much damage was that doing to me? $245. Whatever. Should have polyed. I need to start polying like all the time. I need to poly like I used to Frost Nova, the kite. I used to do that a lot. I don't anymore. Been going up against a lot of casters at this level, so it doesn't really do anything against casters. But I should just start polying all the time, like it's my job. Oh shit, where am I now? Oh, this is good. I might actually be able to skip that whole room now. Okay, that's fine. Oh, there's 3 of them in here, in there. Alright, you guys stay here, you know the drill. Do members or invite? Yes. Let's get rid of that. Just only have veterans and above invite. Of course. Oh shit. Fuck them up. Oh wow, there's a bunch of them down here too. Oh, there's another one. Watch me not get credit for this kill. Well, I mean, if you guys want to clean that room out, I'm not gonna stop you. Just stay in there. Think I can handle it from here. Or not. It's a whole bunch of level 60s down here, man. It's a fucking party. Can any of you res? I didn't think so. Oh. Yeah, I'm pretty far in there, aren't I? I know that's what she said. I had guild members that were doing this quest chain with me before I had to bleed all the bots a while back. Wonder what they're fighting that's got them so low on HP. Shit.
I need healing. Cast that yet.
See, I know I want to keep going deeper. So I guess I need to go right here. This place is a maze.
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet.
Oh, this doesn't do anything for me. Okay, I should be able to poly him. Oh, he's dead.
I'm out of range.
Oh, I have that. I guess that helps. Except I still need to make another one of these. Alright. How much spirit do I have? A fair amount, close to my intellect. Fuck him. Oh wow, he's weak as hell. Did I get credit for that? Good. You know, while we're down here, there's a lot of bots down here. Holy shit. And this place is huge. I never knew how big this place was before. I've never actually been down here this far because I've always found this quest line annoying. Especially in Wrath, you definitely don't have to do this. Oh, he didn't drop anything. Anyway, I'm out of here. I would like to have done that by myself, but it was gonna happen with all those bots down there. Yeah, 3,500 is probably more than enough. It's probably 3,000 is probably a sweet spot. Just because of how they spawn the bots in your proximity. And sometimes they're over leveled. So that's a pain in the ass as well. I'll be back. All right. So what's this one? Search the Deadwood Burbog Camp. Okay, I guess. I'm probably gonna grind dungeons at 59, honestly. I don't see how I'm gonna have it. Like, I'm gonna do whatever leftover quests I have, and then whatever quests I find. But I'm pretty much just gonna start doing dungeons at 59 all the way to 60. At least for this tune. It's not really efficient XP wise, but like if I'm ever gonna get an epic mount, I need to like get some gold. Dungeons are a pretty damn good way of doing that. Not to mention my gears. Shit. I'll probably end up doing the Skullmance quest chain, like I am on my paladin. And do Skullmance, I'll do Strathome. Um Probably Strathome first. I'm pretty sure it's a lower level dungeon. I also need to figure out what legendaries I need to re-add to the game that are in the game file, such as Ashbringer and all that. Not that Ashbringer does anything for me per se. Um, but there might be a few items that I could use. And once I'm 60, I'll start the Scepter of the Shifting Sands quest line. And that'll be my that's essentially gonna be when I raid. Because like half of that quest line involves raiding. And once I've done all of the raids, I will then raid, I think I've said this, raid each capital city, the opposite faction, so Stormwind, Ironforge, Darnassus. And at that point, once I'm done with that, I'll be ready to stir a new tune, because I'll pretty much have done everything. Oh, that wasn't my blizzard, I guess. There's just so many alliance there. I'm probably just gonna have to get a raid together.
They can't join our group. 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 They can't join our group.
This should be enough to exterminate these scumbags here. I almost just want to have 2 bots with me at all times as like my bodyguards, because I'm like the guild master. So why not? Do I even have any officers yet in my guild? I have 3 officers.
They can't join our group. They can't join our group. They can't join our group.
That should be plenty. Literally all I need to do, I think, is just go into camp, and it should indicate that it's complete. Oh, you guys are in for a treat. Oh, there's actually a lot. Oh, I forgot bots actually form raid groups now by themselves. There's actually a lot of alliance here, so it's a good thing I got such a big group together. Anyway, if you guys want to stay there. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Help me. Oh, wow, there's a lot more down here. Let me bring in the big guns, hopefully.
They can't join our group. They can't join our group.
Actually, I need to start bringing in some members.
They can't join our group.
They'll res me. I'll just wait.
I be needing more mana.
My mana is spent.
How many Amber kills do I have? Lifetime. 249. $252. And they just keep coming. I'm gonna have to bring in some more. I'm gonna just go ahead and get a full raid group together here.
They can't join our group.
This res was a lot better than the last one I got.
I need more mana. They can't join our group. They can't join our group.
I accidentally invited a 59. Oops.
Can't join our group.
Shit. Need to kill him too. This is retarded. I don't know who left I haven't invited, but got 3 rogues here I haven't invited.
That's still recharging.
Alright, time to go back to... Oh shit, they're coming to me. Man, I can't wait to do capital cities. That's going to be a lot of fun, actually. Because I'll actually be level 62 and I won't just be able to, I won't just have to stand there and watch. I can actually participate a little bit.
That's still recharging. That's still recharging. I need to target something first.
There's just a whole bunch of corpses in here. Fuck it. At this point, I already know XP is not going to come easy no matter what I do, so I might as well just at least have the luxury of knowing that the opposite faction aren't going to fuck with me today. Alright, what's the next one? Oh yeah, I gotta go kill that elite chimera or whatever the fuck. And I gotta kill some owl beasts. I'm gonna give every level 60 in my guild a promotion. Should be fine now. Every level 60 in Winter Spring gets a promotion. Uh,
That's still recharging.
damn, they're just everywhere over here. Let me look at the player map real quick. It's not the worst graveyard I've ever had. Blackrock Deaths and my TBC playthrough is probably the worst graveyard I've ever had.
I made something for an audience. I hope that it is like exciting and fun and like and you know and people feel things. I just cannot speak to what those things are and shouldn't and I mean, I don't know. I just want to throw up even hearing myself right now.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back, guys. My name is Justin. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me today to talk about
5.5k subscribers. He is about 1,000 more than I did when I was doing uncensored visual novel playthroughs.
spoiler review. Me and my co-host from Acquired Takes, Jason, we already dropped a long form kind of first reaction type review, but I felt just so many thoughts swimming around in my brain about this movie, I can't stop thinking about it. And it's so much movie. It is so much to process. It's 3 hours long. It is basically an explosion of the depths of Ari Aster's mind, just exploded on screen for 3 hours. It's an acid trip. It's an abstract piece of really confounding, confusing art that can be interpreted many different ways depending on how you relate to the themes and subject matter that Ari Aster is putting forth in Beau is Afraid. This movie is not going to be for everybody. I feel like that's a common phrase, but it really pertains to this movie because, man, I see this movie having a pretty small audience that really connects with it. Which I think even Ari Aster would understand. It's no surprise if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, I've talked endlessly about Midsummer and Hereditary, and even I love Ari Aster's short film, The Strange Thing About the Johnsons. If I thought that The Strange Things About the Johnsons is as far as Ari Aster can push insane subject matter, I admit right now that I was wrong because he surpassed all of the weirdness that he's put forth in all of his projects with Beau is Afraid. This movie is an odyssey. It's a trip to Wonderland. Beau is Alice. This insane, surreal, heightened view of the world that he sees, that we see through his eyes, is Beau's Wonderland. I knew going into this movie that it was going to be really bizarre. I know the script leaked a while back, and I saw a lot of comments on the Reddit. I didn't read the script, but people would comment on the script, you know, it's an unfilmable script. There's too much insane shit. How could Ari Aster ever put this script to screen? And after seeing it, I kind of understand why people would say that. The movie 100% relies on Beau's point of view. This is the unreliable narrator situation that we see sometimes in movies like this, where the main character is inside of his own perspective, inside of his own delusions, and 90% of this movie is what he sees, how he views the world. This most likely isn't what's actually happening around him, but a manifestation of all of his anxieties and mental illness. It causes him to view this insane world around him. The movie starts out with a therapy session where he's talking to his therapist, and pretty much right after that opening scene where he's talking to his therapist, that's kind of where this odyssey and this weird, surreal story begins. He has a planned trip to see his mother. He's got his plane ticket, but as soon as he tries to go to the airport, that's when everything starts going terribly wrong. The first thing, he has this horrendous night's sleep where somebody keeps dropping notes under the door saying, "Please be quiet, I'm trying to sleep," and he's doing nothing but laying in his bed being quiet. Overnight, he receives 10, 12, 15 notes, "Please, can you be quiet?" Again, he's making no noise. He gets one note that says, "Okay, you're not going to be quiet, you're going to be louder. What is going on?" And this just throws him into an absolute tailspin. Every time he steps out into his street to try to do anything, to get a drink, to go to a gas station, it is an apocalyptic wasteland with murderers and rapists and people stabbing people and people dead in the streets. Now, in my opinion, I don't think anything that's happening. I don't think any of this chaos is really happening. That's just his paranoia. That's his delusion. That is how he views what's going on in his world due to his crazy anxiety and mental illness. I really love this first 30 to 45 minutes of this movie. I thought this is kind of what this movie was going to be. But after he misses his plane, his mother actually dies in the most fucked up way. A chandelier drops on her head. He calls his mom. Somebody else picks up his mother's phone and describes the scene that he's seeing. He's like, "Beau, what does your mom look like? What is your mom's name? What does your house look like?" And basically he describes what he sees, this person that has his mother's phone. Which is a woman on the floor with her head completely smashed by a chandelier. And that's how Beau realizes his mom is dead. When he calls his mom's phone and realizes that he's talking to somebody who has stumbled upon his mom's phone and his mother is dead with her head smashed on the floor. So now it's his job to go and just try to make the funeral. Once this part of the movie begins, that's where I started to fall out of the movie a little bit. And I feel it kind of diverges into something else that I didn't really connect with as much as the first half. And this is also where it's kind of confusing as to what's real and what's not. As I mentioned, all of that chaos in the streets. He ends up getting hit by a car and stabbed by a lunatic. So you're assuming that some type of this chaos is actually happening because he was stabbed after being hit by a car, and he's brought home to Nathan Lane's house, and this actress, they bring him home, and they too have lost a son, so they're kind of treating him as this new foster son that is, it's really bizarre. He stays in their daughter's room, which she is not too happy about, and this whole segment of the movie lasts a very long time for whatever reason. Also living with them is this soldier with PTSD who is constantly running around thinking he is in a war. To me, that aspect of the movie and this whole segment of him staying with this couple, to me, really just seemed a little silly. When he finally does
Oh,
escape,
fuck you.
he goes into another whole section in the movie that I found very weird. He finds this theater group in the middle of the woods, and that's where that big section that you see a lot of in the trailer with all of the expressionistic aspects of him growing old and having sons. And I don't know what to make of this whole sequence, except maybe this is what he thought his life could be. He thought his life was going to be better, to have children and to grow into a normal adult, and I don't know what he was trying to say here. I didn't really care for this section of the movie, and then we get a whole nother section at the end of the movie when he finally does make his way to his mother's house, and you find out that she's completely faked her own death.
Actually, I think
She
that
is
dude's
alive.
over here, if I
And it was
remember right.
somehow this weird test to test the limits of Bo's love for her, and that was another bizarre aspect to this.
Oh, I probably shouldn't listen to this on stream. I don't want to spoil it for somebody on accident. Though, to be fair, like, you could describe it and spoil it, you're still gonna want to see the fucking movie, because, like, you just... Like, you can know what's gonna happen, but it doesn't fucking matter. You're still gonna want to see it. And I can tell you that from having seen it. Like, somebody could have spoiled it for me, and there's like a weird twist in there, or there's like two weird twists, but it's just like, it doesn't even fucking matter because they're so weird. You're just digesting how weird they are, you know? Like, it's all whatever. So where's this elite at? I know I've seen him over here. Flying back and forth. Oh, that's not you. I was thinking of somebody different. I don't think he's up there. Well, now I have to look it up. Oh, you get to be just anywhere. Okay. He definitely looks different than the rest of them, so that helps. Hmm. Oh, there he is. Well, that was easy as hell. Hey, asshole. Over here. Yeah, you ain't shit. A lot of spell damage. Doesn't bother me at all. I was gonna hit Mana Shield after that. I never did finish giving out promotions, but you know what? Tough shit. I got busy.
Simple flight home turns into an odyssey that legit. Ari Aster is back with a 3-hour epic about a man paralyzed by fear. It's like the Lord of the Rings for those with crippling anxiety. Then you'll know that we're planning a trip. The success of Hereditary and Midsommar, which were both budgeted under $10 million. Ari Aster is cashing in all of his creative chips here, literally, because the reported budget of Beau is Afraid is at around $35 million. Some other places have it even higher, at around $50 million. Either way, this is the highest budget ever given to a film from A24. And I think that that's particularly admirable in light of the fact that A24 is extremely unlikely to recover any of that money. Beau is Afraid is a 3-hour surrealist dramedy that seems to dare the audience to stop watching, anchored by a 20-plus minute dream sequence that on its surface has little to no bearing on the plot of the movie, and that's one of the more normal parts of the last 2/3 of the film. Beau is Afraid is going to heavily challenge Ari Aster fans. It's going to challenge fans of the usual A24 fare, the ones that know what they're getting into, and it is going to utterly alienate any poor soul who wanders in off the street looking at the trailer of the movie, or even is just kind of lightly aware of the kind of movie they're buying a ticket for. If I were a theater manager, I think that I would be very clear on what my refund policy is on this movie in particular, because I think you're going to have two lines. You're going to have people waiting to pay to get into the movie, and you're going to have people waiting to get their money back. I was lucky enough to be in Los Angeles last week during Beau is Afraid's initial weekend, its 4-theater run, and I saw it in a crowd that was probably the peak crowd for this movie. They were Ari Aster fans. They were going to see it in IMAX on its opening weekend. They were primed and ready for the movie, and it really worked. I mean, the first third of the movie, everybody was on board. There was lots of laughter. Everyone was really digging this movie, and you could like feel in a room, almost physically feel the movie losing people as it went along. And then you get to the end of the film, and even then I think that there was still a healthy respect for Ari Aster as a filmmaker when the movie ended, but that energy that was there at the beginning of the film had all but been sucked out of the room by the end of it, at least in my estimation. Now, commercial viability is not the determining factor when deciding whether a movie's good or not, or whether it's worth your time. It's something that you can certainly look at as one aspect of a movie, but this is a thoroughly uncommercial film, just to be clear. This is the anti-Top Gun Maverick. I think it's going to actively drive people out of the theater. That doesn't make it a bad film, it just makes it a challenging film. Now, I will say that if the entirety of Beau is Afraid's runtime had been able to sustain the world that Ari Aster builds for the first hour of the film, then it would have easily been one of my favorite movies of the year so far. The world that he creates at the beginning of this film is a surrealist, satirical nightmare, a well of cold, black comedy that had me and the
I could have
audience we
stopped
saw the
it,
movie with
but I'm like,
laughing
no.
loudly and often. But as Beau's odyssey progressed throughout the film, the space between those laughs got bigger and bigger. The story got less developed. The characters got less developed. Act 3 of Beau is Afraid is what I found to be a hodgepodge of bizarre plot twists, over-the-top imagery, and the culmination of what appeared to be every single one of Ari Aster's real-life neuroses spelled out on screen. Beau is Afraid may well be the most expensive therapy session in the history of mankind, and unfortunately for Ari Aster, when the time is up, I'm not really sure that anything actually gets resolved. This movie is going to be a conversation piece, and I know how a lot of that conversation is going to go, because people that don't like the movie are going to be told by the people who do like the movie that the reason they don't like the movie is because they don't get it or they don't understand it. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I understand what Ari Aster was going for. I get the tone that he was going for, even the more abstract stuff that he is doing in this film. I understand the intentions behind it. I just didn't really
Who killed
like
me?
a whole lot of the last 2/3 of it. I respect this movie, but I can't say that I liked it as a whole. It's too disjointed and unfocused, and it repeats a lot of imagery that was already seen in Hereditary. Not in a referential way either, but in a way that kind of left me wondering whether Aster either has a limited number of images that he can think of to put on screen, or whether he is stuck on just a few of these images in his mind when he's deciding what he wants to bring to screen. Either way, there was a lot of this movie that felt derivative of his earlier work and not just reminiscent of it. Now, I understand that there's going to be a lot of people who will like and even love this film because it's ambitious, and I do wish that more directors were as ambitious as Ari Aster, more willing to take risks and to make films like this, even though it didn't work for me. Similarly, I'm glad that A24 gave Ari Aster the resources to make this film because it's certainly unlike any movie I've seen before or likely will ever see again. But creative ambition and creative success are not the same thing. And just because somebody has the guts to make this movie doesn't mean that I'm obliged to like it. I can respect the fact that it was made and still not really like the movie. Beau is Afraid has some of my favorite things that I've seen in a movie in quite some time, but it's also the most frustrated that I've been with a movie in a very long time. And both of these things can coexist. The more optimistic side of me would actually be looking forward to the discussion around this film, because I think a lot of the discussion around Beau is Afraid is what film criticism should be ideally. Defending the things that you like about the film, discussing the things that you don't like about it, analyzing the movie's meaning, but not in the pursuit of coming up with the quote-unquote right answer about whether it's a good movie or a bad movie.
I'm gonna go check out the
Film
Dark Whisper
criticism is
Gorge,
just about
since I have to wait for that
about the movie,
mob to spawn
comparing
anyway.
notes and listening to other people's opinions and not feeling like yours is being attacked or that everybody's trying to sway you to one side or the other. Film criticism is analysis. It's not debate, for lack of a better word. There's no winning side or losing side. Now, the more practical side of me understands that that's probably not how a lot of the conversation about this movie will be, particularly online, but it is how it should be. We should just be talking about movies like this. That's why they exist, and not feeling like we have to go to war over them one way or the other. A lot of times when we're talking about movies similar to this, David Lynch's filmography in particular, I'll sidestep the question of whether I liked a movie or didn't like the movie by saying, well, you know, it wasn't for me. And there are parts of this movie that weren't for me. However, there were parts of this movie that were very much for me. I will say that I do have some criticisms for this movie that extend beyond my own personal taste. I do think that it has a lack of focus. I do think that there's a lot of stuff thrown into this film. I didn't really see much of a pattern to this. It really did seem like Ari Aster got the ability to make a 3-hour movie and threw in every single thing that he wanted to into the mix, but the soup didn't come out just quite right, and it kind of broaches another topic that is, I think, a little uncomfortable, and I know that a lot of people disagree with me here, which is that sometimes I think that you do need to have somebody in the mix that has the power to tell a director no. I don't think that unadulterated creative freedom always produces the best film. This movie reminds me a lot of Damien Chazelle's Babylon. Both movies are about 3 hours long. Both of them are directed by young directors who have had success with their earlier films that were able to take that success and say, hey, basically, I'm going to make the exact movie that I want to make. And I think that both movies are the shadow of something great. You can look at both of these films and see the structure of the great version of that film, but I also think that both of them needed a guiding hand somewhere in the process to say, no, you need to go this direction or that direction. You can't just throw everything into the movie. Now, if you loved Babylon, then this is the kind of movie, Beau is Afraid, that you'll probably like a little bit more than I did. I just found this and Babylon to have the same fatal flaws. A lot of things in there that I really liked, mixed in with a lot of stuff that I don't really think added to the overall movie. I'm sure that there are elements in both films that were very meaningful to Ari Aster and to Damien Chazelle, but that doesn't mean that they're always going to be meaningful elements to the audience, and you don't always have to be slavish to what the audience wants, but you do have to accept the risks if you are making something that is going to be such a departure. That means that not a lot of people are going to like it, and it probably also means that you're not going to make a whole lot of money, which may impact your future creative freedom. It's always a game of checks and balances, and there's never a right answer or a wrong answer. I just think that both of these movies, and Beau is Afraid in particular, felt a little imbalanced. Now, from a technical standpoint, Ari Aster remains a viscerally exciting filmmaker. Teaming once again with cinematographer Pavel Pogorzelski, Aster's decision to shoot the film in the 185:1 aspect ratio and A24's decision to book the film in select IMAX theaters creates an immersive world with dark shadows and pops of color that drive home the unreality of what you're seeing, capped off with a sound mix that keeps you off kilter in key sequences. This may not be Aster's most successful film from a storytelling standpoint, but I do think that it is easily, including Hereditary, his best technically made film. Joaquin Phoenix is one of our most fearless actors, and he fully commits to the character of Beau throughout the movie. This feels like an experimental role for him as an actor, so I guess it's really no surprise that he signed on. His performance varies from relatable to broad, from method to madness, if you will, often on a dime. You don't have to admire the film to admire his work in it. There's also a rotating cast of supporting actors, including Nathan Lane, Parker Posey, and Amy Ryan. The less said about their characters, the better, as the shock behind every turn of Beau's journey is a big part of the movie's appeal. And so now it gets boiled down to the question that I really try to answer in all of my reviews, which is, do I think that Beau is Afraid is worth your time? Well, that's a tricky question because it is a 3-hour-long movie, which is a big commitment whether you're seeing it in a theater or deciding to wait at home and see it on streaming. My first piece of advice would be that if you do plan to see the movie, I would see it in a theater because, as I mentioned, it has a lot of technical merit, and the sound mix especially is really great in a theater. Otherwise, I fall back on what I almost always say when people ask me if they should see a movie, which is that you're the best judge when it comes to your own tastes. I'm just here to share my thoughts and feelings. And I have to say that Ari Aster remains one of my favorite working filmmakers today, and I was awed by parts of what I saw in Beau is Afraid, particularly in the first act. I just wish there had been more of those parts. I wish that I had been more immersed in it. I don't think that it all comes together very well. If you want to call it a failure, I'd say it is a noble failure, but ultimately for me, a failure nonetheless. So I guess it would not necessarily be a recommendation for me on Beau is Afraid, but it is one of the most interesting films out there. So I'm certainly not going to discourage you from seeing it. So, yeah, maybe it is worth your time if you want to see what's happening in the world of cinema today, because as I said earlier, you're never going to see a movie quite like this one. And it is one of the things that, obviously I'm the most torn on that I've seen in a very long time. So maybe you should just go see it and make up your own mind. That's really my advice anyway. Make up your own mind. If you're curious about this
This video is brought to you by Aura. Well, as its pristine look, psychological horror became the hot new thing, and it only got hotter after Midsommar. Love him or hate him, I don't think you can deny the fact that Ari Aster is one of the most influential directors of the last 10 years. Which is why it makes sense that after 4 whole years since his last film, after countless films have attempted to imitate his style, Aster just did something completely different, but also proved that he is still operating on a higher level than most directors. He did this with his latest film, Beau is Afraid. Beau is Afraid stars Joaquin Phoenix, and it's about a guy who needs to get to his mom's house, and who also desperately needs to come. It's also 3 hours long. I liked this movie quite a bit, but I'll get this one out of the way. It didn't need to be 3 hours long. I like that he's able to turn such a simple premise into an Odyssey-like epic, but this thing has a lot of fat to it that at times brings down the weight of what he already has. I get that the longer we sit with this character, the harder that first line of credits is going to hit at the end, but I just got tired after a while. I also really want to rewatch this movie, but I don't know if I can do it all again. It was disturbing. Almost as disturbing as when you Google yourself and are shocked to see your personal information exposed on one of those public listing sites. You see, data brokers are making a fortune on selling your information to robocallers, spammers, and others who want to learn more about you, like where you live. Scary stuff, but that's kinds of things, and it's nice that I can jam-packed with detail. The production design in this movie is just breathtaking and reason enough to see it in IMAX. Which, by the way, hilarious that this movie is getting an IMAX release. It's like Synecdoche, New York getting an IMAX release. Who is letting this happen? But I'm glad it is, because love it or hate it, it is undeniable how beautiful the movie looks, despite so much of the content within the film being so horrific. There's a scene in here that is mostly animated. It uses green screen and different textures, and for a good chunk of the scene, I couldn't really tell what was real and what wasn't. This might might get me into some hot water, but it reminded me of the ballet sequence in The Red Shoes, where an already otherworldly film goes off the rails completely and turns into something even stranger. For how many styles it messes with, it never feels cheap or random. That scene is a spectacle and will definitely be most people's favorite part of the movie. Probably because it's one of the few scenes in the film that doesn't make me feel like I'm gonna throw up, and it's still pretty upsetting, so what does that say? Yeah, let's stop beating around the bush. No matter how beautiful the movie looked, nothing could stop it from being the most anxiety-inducing film I've sat through since climax. Maybe it was a bad idea to chug a large iced cold brew right before this. I had jitters the entire first chunk of it. Or maybe the film is just a really good depiction of anxiety. All I know is that I did not have a good time. It's kind of like, hey, what if literally everything in the world was out to get you? What if you were being watched at all times? What if your home wasn't even your home? What if leaving your home was even worse? My man Bo is having a miserable time this entire movie. It is basically 3 hours of just misery, but the film pulls it off by being extremely funny. Not only is the film funny, but the humor is just essential to how it functions. It would not be as good of a movie if it wasn't this funny. The first 30 or so minutes are a great example because all of these horrible events collapsing in on each other, getting worse and worse, it's fantastic. I like this kind of comedy a lot. It's extremely simple yet clever, and it's the kind where the way a line is delivered completely sells it. It's funny that Joaquin Phoenix stars in this because it's almost like, what if Joker was actually funny? Just a guy having a bad time, but like, that's the joke. I don't mean to sound like a broken record here, but this movie's humor specifically works by avoiding being self-aware. If there was ever a moment where Bo acknowledged how bad things were, rather than just living in it the way he does, to an extent where he doesn't even feel like a real person anymore, it would break the nightmare that the film lives in. In a nightmare, nobody is like, well, this sucks. No, in a nightmare, you're like, oh god, and that is essentially what Phoenix is doing here. Just doing those noises. For that reason, despite how much this just feels like Ari Aster's therapy session, the film does feel like it lacks a human element to it. If you look at this next to Danny or Annie in Midsommar and Hereditary, Bo is undoubtedly the least fleshed out protagonist he's written. Yet, weirdly enough, it's this story that resonated with me personally more than either of those films. Again, I have to give Joaquin Phoenix some credit for this too. Bo is a relatively simple character who is mostly tossed into these scenarios throughout the film. For a good chunk of it, it doesn't even feel like he's making that many active decisions. Things just keep happening to him. And even though Phoenix plays this character in distress the entire film, he forces himself to find some sort of range inside of that one emotion that makes for a pretty interesting performance. The real standout here, though, is Patti LuPone, who, without spoiling, really steals the entire show with her performance. It feels like a mix of everything you feared and a lot of pent-up aggression being released at once. It's both sort of satisfying.
What are you looking at?
Nothing. What are you doing?
The bed.
I'm just over here dying a lot. About 90% of my stream is walking.
What it is anyway?
No. I found this elite I was supposed to kill, and somebody else killed it before I did, right in front of me. And I had to wait for it to respawn. And now I'm fucking dealing with Alliance bots that keep just showing up. Wish there was a way to zoom into this thing. No. Well, looks like I'm getting got again.
Where's your fucking big old party?
I could.
You might as fucking well. You're just gonna keep dying.
I could bring in that big old party. I actually had a 40-man raid going on because there were so many alliance bots. It was like a 30-minute battle just so I could find a cauldron in the Deadwood Furbog camp. Oh, there's another one. That's gonna end up killing me. I'm gonna end up fucking dying from that. There's nothing I can do.
Get good, scrub.
1 dot. 1 single dot took me from full health to 0.
Fucking second.
This actually makes dungeon grinding a lot more viable, just knowing that I'll be in a dungeon and I won't have to worry about literally anything except mobs. Hmm.
You want another one?
I don't know.
Water?
Do I?
I don't know. You didn't tell me what you wanted. You just handed me a glass.
Are you trying to go to bed right now?
I have to be up in 6 hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm
I fell asleep in the
gonna
chair.
go ahead and rinse it out and I'm done. The only horde I ever see are already dead. Sad. Definitely adds to the original experience. Most current players don't have any idea of the grind and time it took, dude. I actually was not there either, but if this is what it was like, You know, I got a lot of respect for those people. Some might call them losers, but those people, a lot of patience. And this is, see, the bots don't corpse camp. Real players did. So you also had to deal with that on top of this. So I think the next time I level a tune, though, it's probably going to be in a PvE realm, but I'll switch my server over, maybe. I don't know. Well, when I level up again, everybody's going to start at level 1. So that might change things. Yes. You probably weren't here a little bit ago, but I actually had to get a 40-man raid together. Literally just to go over here to the cauldron for the quest. I had to get a 40-man raid, all level 60s, to fight the Alliance that were there, because there was that many of them. They just kept coming and coming and coming, and finally, like, you know what, I'm just gonna max out my 40-man, or max out my raid group, and they fought for probably 30 minutes while I was trying to do shit. I died like 5 times, but I kept getting rezzed. The bots were basically playing VIP, and I was the VIP. I just need to find this one elite. I know he's over here somewhere. I don't think he goes over by the dragons. Though he was turning that way earlier. Ah, shit. See? Yep. Hold on. You know what?
They can't join our group. 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 They can't join our group.
We can't invite anyone else.
Hey, asshole. Guess what? I should probably help. Oh yeah, I should definitely help.
That stingray charge in. That spell isn't ready yet. I don't have a target.
I almost have to run around with like 2 bodyguards or something at all times. How many honorable kills do I have now? 278? I think that's up like 78 from the time that I logged in just like an hour and a half ago or however long I've been streaming. There's just been mass death. Hey, fuck them up. You don't need my help for that one. That Shadow Word better not kill me. I'll be so pissed. It's not doing as much damage as the last one did, though. He must have went this way. So I actually don't have this discovered over here. In case you're wondering, I'm trying to find this guy. I found him earlier, just as another bot was killing him, and I could have stopped it, but I didn't. Oh look, more dudes. Yeah, I modified that at 1.2, and I probably won't. There he is, motherfucker. I will probably modify that on my next tune by like 0.2 or something to make it a little bit faster. But the only thing I'm doing on this run is adding in unused items, if applicable, which they probably won't be applicable, to be quite honest, because you almost need a fucking healing potion to kill this dude. Help! I need to spend some money on some consumables. I've been kind of lazy about it. That's about half of my problem. You can't be lazy about consumables in vanilla. So what other quests do I got going on here? Berserk Owl Beast? I'm pretty sure they're over here. Man, I love getting moonbeamed to shit. There's a Berserk Owl Beast right there. You know what, though? I'm actually going to teleport back to Orgrimmar. I'm going to buy some consumables. Yeah, um, basically the next time I play through with a new tune in vanilla, the only couple things I'm doing are probably going to be like Ghost Run. I'm going to increase quest XP for quests for items that have like a really low drop rate. Yeah, I think that's probably it, actually. Oh. Part of me wanted to increase like XP for quests across the board, but I rather just make certain quests more rewarding, like the Murloc heads or the crab leg quest and Swamp of Sorrows, for example. A lot of bots in here that aren't in a guild. Let's see what he's got. Staves. See, like, this is technically better, kind of, but, like, it does, the stats don't, it's just not enough. What about wands? Nope. Cloth armor. Oh, I might have something here. Oh, that's a no-brainer. Except I don't, or no, I can't afford it. Like, both of those would be great. That would be great too, but I can't afford that one. And honestly, if I got both of these, I'm pretty sure I could sell some stuff and get 3 gold real quick. That's another problem I have. My gear's very outdated. Well, I could do that too. But you kind of have to grind in vanilla to get the XP to level up. So the low drop rate quests are actually doing you a favor by requiring you to kill more shit, because you're essentially getting all the quest XP you wish you had through the mobs that you're having to kill to get the item. But I'm thinking if I just make the reward XP higher, that completely solves any problem. Did I put that belt on yet? I'm tripping out. There it is. I would basically just have to go to a quest and be like, oh, I remember that one. That's this quest. And then I can go to Heidi SQL and see the actual percentage drop rate and increase it so much based on how low the percentage chance is in real time. I don't know if I can reload. Yeah, I can reload the quest template in real time. I don't even have to restart the server. It's kind of nice. I don't want those anymore. That will protect you. I'll keep it. I'll just sell all my cloth. Fuck it.
Be careful.
I'm pretty sure I have some in my bank anyway. Yeah, pristine Yeti horns. That's a really good example, and that one sucks too because all the matriarchs and patriarchs are in the cave, and you have to fight your way in, and then you have to fight your way out. Which actually isn't too bad because once you get in, you can actually start like a route essentially. Like you kill so many at the beginning, you go through, and then by the time you're at the end, you come back and they're starting to respawn. So it's not that bad, but still, like the the ones that require you to go like 50 miles into an underground dungeon, I might increase those too. Like the one in Fellwood, for example, the one that's over here, I would probably increase that. Because then you have to go in, you have to fight your way in, then you have to fight your way out. That's quite time consuming. Or you can hearth. You can hearth, but like you also want the XP, you might want the gold. You know. Ooh, what's this? Holy shit. That wasn't there before, was it? It's honestly not that much better. It's 1 point more intellect, 4 points more spirit, and 12 stam. I could use the 12 stam, but I'm more concerned about everything else. So I'm just going to take this and run, I think. Well, this isn't even that good either. And I don't even know where the set drops. I really don't. This is why I need to grind some dungeons. I don't think I want to take it. I just don't think it's worth it. What about these ones? These boots are good. Really good, actually. They give me a lot more stats than this one does. It's two spirit, 3 intellect, 1 stam. This gives me 5 spirit, 6 intellect. So yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer. Well, initially when I started this tune, I was playing like newbie on purpose. I was doing one quest at a time, and I was trying to make like an organic adventure where it's like, oh, I did this quest, now I'm doing this one, now I'm doing this one, and I'm traveling over here and over there and going all over the place. But in vanilla, that's fun until you hit about level 45, 50, and then it's just like, oh, well, shit, I need all the quests. I can't dick around anymore. I have to get XP. So, I'm losing 17 damage to my fire spells, but honestly, I don't think that's gonna do a whole hell of a lot.
Greetings. Goodbye.
Alright, I'm gonna fly back out there and then I'm probably gonna end the stream. I also have my level 57 Paladin on my Burning Crusade server that I'm leveling along with this one, and I have my Death Knight, who's currently 58 because the starting zone on this core in the Wrath of the Lich King for Death Knights is buggy as hell, and I just essentially auto-completed all the quests just so I can get the hell out of there. But once I got these guys to 59, I'll switch back over to my Death Knight, and I'll be leveling up one level at a time, just for some variety. Is that where I want to go? No, it's not. I might actually treat 59 to 60 in vanilla as 2 levels. Like once I get halfway, I might switch. Because it's a lot of XP. What build am I running? All my builds are randomized, and I just so happen to pick fire for this one. Pretty much got a point in everything here except Fire Ward. I'm kind of working on my Frost. Somebody told me that Elemental Precision was better than Arcane Subtlety. And, yeah, for questing, yeah, kind of, yeah. See, I don't really know what this does, though. It seems like it would give negative resistance to your spells, which sounds good, but I don't know. Like for questing, I think not being able to resist is probably better. And this obviously for ice armor, because I'm a squishy bitch. And then once this is leveled up all the way, I'll probably finish it up with improved fire ward, and that'll be my full build. Improved fire ward will be really good once I go into molten core and all that. Does that increase? No, it just has a 20% chance probably to reflect spells. And on Burning Crusade, I'm running a Proc Paladin. And on Wrath of the Lich King, I'm running a Blood DK. Apparently DKs can tank, but I don't know how well they can hold threat. Because, like, I don't see any of their spells holding threat. Unless they just do, and it doesn't say they do. I don't know. I've never played a Death Knight before. Ugh. Maybe. As if you're referring to my server being public, at some point I want to get a like one of those little mini computers that are like $500, and I want that to be like my standalone server. And once I do that, I might actually consider opening up a semi-private server. But when that happens, yeah, I'll let you know. It'll be a while yet. I need to get some money together. Got like bills to pay and adult shit like that. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. I also have the Discord down below too if you're interested. So what am I gonna do tomorrow? Probably this quest. Then I'm just gonna turn shit in, I guess. And then I will probably do Dire Maul to do this quest. And then I will probably come back, hopefully with decent gear. And I'll do this quest. And if I don't find any more quests, I might go to Silthus and do these two. And once I clear this out, and if I can't find any more quests, I'm going to start doing dungeons. Just for the sake of doing fucking dungeons. I'll get a lot better gear that I can get in the auction house right now. Holy shit. They're pissing off the bruisers.
Fuck.
There's a lot of dudes here.
Are they all fighting each other?
Most of them. Who is this guy? Oh, Frost. Okay. Yeah, I could do that one too. That's probably orange though, I bet, yeah. Yep. I almost want to save the orange quest. I almost don't even want to do those right now. I almost just want to like do the yellows, grind until I'm 58, and those orange ones turn green because I'm pretty sure the XP doesn't increase if they're orange. It stays the same. Pretty sure that's how it works. But anyway, I'm getting off here. Thanks anyone who stopped by or watches the VOD, etc. Toodles.